My grandma always cracks me up. She always say, people always want to pray to God when the world is burning down. Oh my God, please help us. God bless America. But when everything is okay, none of them are in church. None of them are praying. In my darkest times, I found my relationship with God to be more than anything, the most essential parts of my life. And I don't mean to sound preachy. Whatever you believe in, I don't judge. Whatever you believe in, it will bring you closer to that. What's going on, YouTube world? This is your guy, Sealz the man. And I'm so glad, as always, to be back with y'all. Thank you for coming back and supporting me. Really appreciate it. Truly humbling. And on tonight's episode, we're going to talk about the reasons why trauma can make the best version of you and will bring you your greatest and best blessings. And because I know you're here to understand the mind of men, understand the mind of good men, I'm also here to tell you why your trauma can bring you the best man in your life. I'm going to tell you all these things. But before I start, please do me the honor of subscribing to me, hitting that red box below this video box. Comment your suggestions, your thoughts on this. Tell me your stories. Tell me your testimonies. It's about inspiring other people and also inspiring me. And if you have any social media, follow me on Sealz the Man, all right? So piggybacking off of what I just said, the first reason why your trauma could bring the best blessings and everything you can even dream of, all those good things. The first reason is that you will have a testimony, a story to tell. If you think about it, if you study people, if you read their stories, some of the greatest actors, entertainers, icons, leaders in history, some of your favorite people have some of the darkest and craziest and most traumatic experiences that they went through. So how did they become so great after going through these things, right? They were thankful for everything they went through, the good and the bad. And they were able to take that lemon and make lemonade out of it. You see, the thing is, they never gave up. They never fell in. They never fell over. They never quit because life was hard. As my grandma always said, my ancestors went through hell and purgatory to give me this position, this space and opportunity to do this. The little things, having liberty and rights. Someone had to sacrifice for the future. And in doing this, they had a testimony. They had a story to tell. So having a testimony, having a story to tell can be one of your biggest blessings because you provide a blessing to someone else. I always say life is about giving and not so much about getting. Because when you give, you get back twofold, tenfold. But you have to give. You have to be willing to give. Having a testimony, having a story, having experience to tell others, to influence others, to inspire others that are going through similar or the same situations as you is a blessing for them that will come back to you twofold. Just imagine you planting one of your seeds in someone else's garden, coming back 10 years later and that garden is full, flourishing, and abundant, and now you can take fruit. Now they're willing to give you fruit of that garden you started because you donated your seed, because you were generous. You probably forgot about it, but you planted a future in someone else. That is a blessing. That is a blessing on top of a blessing because you created that blessing for someone else, and now you are being blessed by that blessing. I said blessing so much, but I love talking about blessings, man. Blessings should be abundant, right? So that is why your testimony, your story can be your biggest blessing because you create blessings for others. Now, the second reason why your trauma, your story, your experience can bring the best dreams, goals, aspirations, and just blessings to you because now you know the game. Now you can see BS, you can see fakeness, you can see trouble coming from a mile away. And now you won't fall for much, if anything. You see, the thing with experience is that experience comes with downfalls. Experience comes with hard times and being uncomfortable and being in uncomfortable situations with uncomfortable people. Experience is not all good things. But I thank God every day that I experienced those bad days, that I went through the storm and not just stayed in the storm. I thank God for all the heartbreaks and all the disappointments and all the life-changing mistakes I made. and all the almost life-changing mistakes I made. I thank God for the errors. I thank God for all those bad things. You know why? Because now I will never do those things again. And if I do those things again, it's my fault. It's because I chose to. It's because I kneeled to it. It's because I gave it permission to. Because there is no way I can do the same mistake over and over and over again. You got to think about it. When you do the same thing over and over again, the first time, okay, it's understandable because you've never been through that situation. But the second and the third time and the fourth time, those are all your faults. You gave permission to those errors. When you've been through the storm, you know next time to bring your umbrella. Because yeah, the first time you probably got caught in a storm because you didn't think to watch the news in the weather forecast, right? Maybe you were rushing and didn't think about anything. But that second time and that third time, you know before you leave the house to check the weather. That mistake should never happen again. When you've been with liars, when you've been with narcissists, when you've been around and with the devil, you know how the devil works. Your intelligence, your awareness of devils increase. Your awareness and intelligence of liars and scammers and everything against you increases. I mean, when your intelligence and your awareness increases, your radar gets better. Now, your conscience is louder. Hey, you need to stay away from him because based on the experiences we had, I feel like we've met someone like him before. Stay away. Red alert. This situation that you're in right now seems very similar to something you had in the past. Stay away. That protection in your head is so much louder when you've been through it already. That trauma will ring bells in your head. And that is because you've been through this already. And when you're able to filter out the bad, when you're able to filter out all those things that were negative in your life before, you make room for all the blessings to come, all these great opportunities to come in. Because when you think about it, when we are surrounded, when we are engulfed in bad, there is no room for good. How can you have a whole bunch of bad things and a whole bunch of good things in your life? It doesn't work like that. Usually when bad things happen, it rains bad things. And when good things are happening, it rains good things. When it rains, it pours. So when you're able to see stuff from a mile away, you make room for things that are to come. The good things, the blessings. Experience helps you filter those bad things out and keep them at bay. All right. So the third reason why your trauma can bring the greatest blessings to you is because now you are prone to appreciate things so much more. Appreciation. Let's key in on that word. Usually we just appreciate the good things, right? The things that makes us happy or the things that makes us giddy. We only like to give praise to the things that are good for us, right? But I have something to tell you. The ones who are best at enduring the storm are the ones who thank God for the rain. Think about that. When you're going through your storm, don't complain. Try your best not to complain. When you're going through your life's tribulations, try your best not to complain. Try your best not to harbor on what's happening to you. Because what's happening to you is what's happening for you. Because I know it's so easy to complain. It's so easy to harbor on the bad things that are happening in our lives. How can we change if we don't change our mindset? But most importantly, how can we change if we don't appreciate the things we already have? Because think about this, right? I'm gonna tell you how to think about a lot of things in this video, but think about this. We can put so much energy into things we don't have and forget to give thanks to the things we do have. I always think like this, you know how people gaze at the stars and they gaze at the sky and they're like, oh wow, this is so beautiful to look at. I wish I was out there. I wish I could grab that star. And people just have a fascination with outer space and the night sky and all those. It's understandable. But what about the ground we stand on? Yes, it's dirty. Yes, it may be unattractive to you. But this ground is everything to us. Without this ground, we are not able to appreciate the night sky. Let's start at the ground and appreciate our ground. Let's appreciate our foundation. Let's give thanks to the things we already have. And it might not be glorious. It might not be attractive. So what? How can you think you deserve these other things, these other grand things, these out of scale things, and not appreciate the little things that we have right now? And when you do possess these things, how do you think you'll be able to appreciate the things now, these new things we have now, if you don't ever appreciate the little things, the old things that got us here? How? It's all about appreciation. So I want you to do this. I want you to look at life, and I want you to get rid of the word loss in your life. I want you to get rid of the word lose in your life. Because one, everything you lose in life is not a loss. You are on a path that just tailored for you. So anything you might have lost in your life was supposed to happen. You got to make room for the greater things to come, right? Some people got to get out the car so that other and better people can get in your car. 2, every loss is a lesson. So I believe we either win, we catch a W or a L, win or lesson. I never lose because I appreciate the things I lose in. I appreciate my losses. And because I appreciate my losses, when I win, it's so much sweeter. So give thanks to the things that confuse you in life because you can learn from those things. Give thanks to the things that might have made you cry because you are now stronger. You are now wiser because of that. Those tears can water your garden. Give thanks to your rejections because now that leads you to another opportunity. Give thanks to those closed doors because now a greater, bigger, and just shinier, healthier door is going to be open down the hall. But you got to give thanks to the things that's happened to you, everything. Because giving thanks to your lessons sounds so much better than harping on your losses. Make sure your trauma makes you better. The 4th reason why your trauma can make you a better person and bring the greatest blessings into your life is because now you are fed up. You have no time for games. And you are more strict about what you want in life. See, now you don't entertain foolishness because you've been through the fire. You don't have time. Because you are fed up, your attitude is different. So also when you're fed up, your list of tasks change. Your priorities change. Now you're focused, you're headstrong on things that's going to be good for you. And that's it. You don't get permission for anything else other than things that's going to be good for you to be allowed into your life. You are fed up. Like have you ever been around someone who's fed up? It's almost scary because they are focused on whatever can improve their situation. They're focused on being around something that can be their solution. They are focused, dead focused. So sometimes things can happen in our lives to make us fed up, even though it can be heartbreaking and be one of the most emotional parts of our lives. But because of that, we can filter so much garbage out because we are focused. So I just want to mention that. And the 5th reason why your trauma can be your biggest blessing, can bring on your biggest blessings, is because it brings you closer to God. Whatever your faith is, whatever your religion is, it brings you closer to that. It brings you closer to your inner peace. It brings you closer to your inner temple. It brings you back to your authentic self. A lot of times we can get into relationships or we can get into good things that can take us away from ourselves. And it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes our relationship can be great, but it takes us away from our authentic selves, our real selves, the things that got us here. It can take you away from people that helped you get to this great point in your life. And this is a true example of never forgetting where you come from. And if never forgetting where you come from, you cannot forget of your trauma, because that's where we all come from, right? My grandma always cracks me up. She always say, people always want to pray to God when the world is burning down. But when everything is okay, none of them are in church. None of them are praying. But man, when something goes down, when the world is going crazy and chaos is taking over the world, then they want to say, oh my God, please help us. God bless America. It's so true though, right? Trauma brings us closer to God. But when things are going nice and smooth and regular, you don't hear a peep. It's like they forget. It takes them away from their original selves. And I know this point specifically by experience personally, because in my darkest times, I found my relationship with God to be more than anything, the most essential parts of my life. And I don't mean to sound preachy or religiously. Everyone has their faith, right? Whatever you believe in, I don't judge. Whatever you believe in, it will bring you closer to that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your source. But never let life take you away from your source. Never let your troubles and your trauma take you away from your source. In fact, it should bring you closer to it. All right? So hopefully this video can help. I just wanted to give out an inspirational video, an inspiring video. Like I always say, I'm always of the mental. I'm trying to build y'all mental because I'm building my mental. When you work on your mental, when you work on your spirit, everything else can fall in place. Looking for good men and good relationships and all that good stuff, but you need to work on you. You need to work on your inner self first, your mind, your spirit, and everything else will fall into play. But those things ain't important unless you work on yourself first, all right? So have a good night, peace and blessings, and I will see y'all in my next video. Thank you for coming.